My name is Kathy Conan, and I have the privilege of being one of the adjudicators for Rising Stars 2020 Vocal Stream. It's a real privilege for me to be able to be part of this, and I'm so excited to hear your performances. I hope that you will take advantage of this experience, that you will spend time rehearsing, and that you will record your solos so that we can give you some feedback and encourage you in your music making. I live in Mississauga. It's a city just outside of Toronto in Canada. I'm a high school music teacher and a songster leader, and I used to conduct our divisional youth chorus. So I'm very excited to be able to listen to you and to share any feedback that I can give. Many of you will have been to music camp and maybe sing in a group in your division or in your corps. And so some of the things that I want to share with you now, you probably already know, but this will just reinforce some of those ideas as you prepare your solo. For those of you that have never done something like this before, maybe some of these ideas will be new to you, and I hope that they will help you. And I really hope that you will step out of your comfort zone and take advantage of this opportunity with Rising Stars to submit a solo so that we can encourage you in your music. I just want to talk a little bit about preparation for the solo. There are some very obvious things that you need to do. Of course, one is just learning the notes and rhythms of the music, making sure that you have learned them well so that you are accurate and that you can then go on from there and really make music. One of the things I recommend as well is that you read the text and you read it out loud. Just read it out loud a few times so that you have a real idea of what the message of the song is, and perhaps words that you want to put emphasis on, or words that you think are important, or even ideas in the song that you think need to be stressed more. You might even underline some words or circle some words just to help you remember what the song is about and the message that you're communicating. Once you've learned the notes and the rhythms and you're looking at the music, there are lots of things that we need to think about. One of the main things to think about is diction. Diction involves our consonants and our vowels. And diction allows the music to actually be understood, for the text to be understood. And so it's important that you think about word endings and beginnings, Christ, God, speak. Any words that have, all words have consonants in them. So you have to think about how you want to be very clear at enunciating those consonants. The other part of diction is vowels. And vowels are so important in singing. It's important that we create round vowels, that we think about the shape of the vowels, that we have lots of space inside, lots of height inside, that our O's are round, our O's, our E's. Sometimes E's can get very spread, E. And we want to make sure that we bring those in so that they're more north-south vowels, E. If vowels is something new to you, I would highly recommend that you get Dr. Bergmeyer's book, The Beat Goes On, because he has a section in there that speaks specifically about vowels, and it's very clear and easy to understand. It's around the 251 page mark in the book. Maybe you could contact your DMD or someone at your corps or music leader and ask them to connect you with that book if you haven't seen it before, or maybe they could even share with you some of those pages. After we thought about diction, we had to think about how we're going to sing musically and shaping musical phrases. And so we need to think about the line and how we're going to shape the line of music. A lot of this is also about breathing. And so it's important that you take a pencil and you mark on your copy where you want to breathe. Now, some of those breath marks will be quite obvious. Maybe after a 4-bar phrase, there's a rest in it, or it's a clear thought, an idea that you'll take a breath. Just put a little mark there to remind yourself to breathe there. You may find in the text that there's a word that you want to have just a little pause after. You could also put a breath mark there. Think about it carefully, and as you're singing, these phrases will become more noticeable to you, I think. But while we talk about the phrase, we talk about shaping the line of the phrase. Where is it going? If I were to talk to you on the same level of volume and never change my inflection, it's pretty boring. But if I change my inflection in my voice, it's more interesting to listen to. The same with singing a phrase. You want to think about where the phrase is going. Sometimes it's going to arc right in the middle and then it's going to taper back. Other times the phrase might just drive through with a forte to a crescendo to the end of the phrase, or it might be very subdued and reflective. So as you're thinking about your phrasing, you want to make sure that you're thinking about the text and you're thinking about where you want to rise in dynamic or come back and how you want to create a beautiful musical line. Breathing, so important. So make sure you are thinking about that and working on your breathing all the time. I already mentioned the text and mentioned that you should really also, in the phrasing, think about those words so that the message comes across. So I just want to recap for you right now. Make sure you know the notes and the rhythms. Think about the diction, the consonants and the vowels. Think about the line, making the line musical in the shape of the phrase, which will include stresses on words, crescendos, diminuendos, tapering phrases, whatever dynamics you want. And in speaking about dynamics, sometimes they're written on the page, but sometimes the text maybe demands you to do something a little different. So you might have one verse that you think should be much stronger or less. And the last thing to think about is your communication. How are you going to stand? How is your face going to look? So I have a broken arm here, unfortunately, but I still can stand tall. Shoulders back, up, back, and down. My chin nice and level. I don't want to pull back or look down at the floor. And I want to keep my rib cage nice and high. And then when I sing, I want to communicate the message through my face. I want people to really listen to what I'm singing. I want to draw them into what I'm doing. And I want to be able to make my message, the message of the music, very, very clear to them. I hope this has been helpful. I really encourage you to do this. I'm looking forward to hearing them. You know, I was thinking today, there's so many scripture verses that speak about singing, so many of them, and I could quote you lots of different verses, but the one I just want to leave you with right now as you are preparing is from Psalm 95, verses 1 and 2. "O come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise." And I just pray that as you prepare this music, that God will speak to you and he'll encourage you. And I look forward to hearing your music. Thank you so much for taking part in Rising Stars 2020.